So you just finished watching Squid Game and now you're waiting for the third and final season. Well, while you wait for it, here are 3 recommendations that will make your wait for the third season a bit easier. So here is what I will do. I will recommend you one show, one movie, and one anime. All 3 of them will be equal in intensity, the thrills, and the plot twist which Squid Game is known for. Every recommendation I'm going to give you is a roller coaster of survival, strategy, and suspense, which are guaranteed to blow your mind. So without wasting any time, let us begin. Recommendation number 1, Alice in Borderland. This is a TV show which feels like a cousin to Squid Game. In terms of similarity scale, Alice in Borderland is about 80% similar to Squid Game. Both these shows feature characters going through hardships in the form of various games, losing which will result in the end of their life. The basic concept in both the show is pretty much the same. The difference is that the games in Alice in Borderland have higher stakes and are more intense. To give you a basic rundown of the premise, the main character Alice and his friends one day are going about their day in Japan. Then suddenly they find themselves alone in the whole city. There is this mystery that forces the viewers to think about where all the other humans have gone. The show slowly unravels all its mysteries while at the same time it will keep you hooked in the form of high-stake games. As Alice and his friends explore this seemingly empty city, they discover that they need to play certain games and survive in order to keep living. Failure to do so will result in an almost supernatural laser beam falling from the sky and ending their visa to live. While Squid Game is about surviving the games so you can earn more money and then make it back into the real world, Alice in Borderland is about surviving the games so you can live another day. The mysteries and the secrets that this show is hiding will keep you on the edge of your seat. Another good thing about Alice in Borderland is that it doesn't limit itself in terms of games. You will get to experience all sorts of different games. Some test the intellect of the players, while others test their physical strength. There are some games which will test the teamwork of the players, and some will test their emotions. With such a huge variety of games, you will certainly find something that you will prefer over the others. For me, Chisha and the games that he plays are my favorite. For someone else, it might be something totally different. But it is not just the games that keep you hooked. It is the creepy feeling you get looking at the emptiness of Tokyo, the mystery of who's behind it all. If you loved the strategy and tension of Squid Game, then Alice in Borderland is definitely your next go-to. The psychological tension that this show puts you through is, I would say, not only on par with, but maybe even better than Squid Game. With each episode, the stakes are higher, the games are more brutal, and the story will keep you asking for more and more. Alice in Borderland currently has 2 seasons, and the story of the show is complete, so you will not be left on a cliffhanger should you choose to watch it. It is not only going to keep you satisfied until season 3 of Squid Game comes around, but it might also just become your new obsession. Now, let's move on to the next recommendation. The next recommendation that I'm going to give you is actually a movie that is both horrifying and thought-provoking. The movie is called The Platform. This Spanish movie combines survival with a brutal commentary on class and humanity. Let me paint a picture for you, literally explaining what this movie is about. Imagine waking up in a prison-type building where you and your cellmate has all the time in the world. The only thing you look forward to is food time. This building is like a very tall tower with various floors. You can wake up on the top floor, somewhere in the middle, or maybe in the bottom. You never know. Now here's the twist. There is an elevator in this building which goes from the top to the bottom one by one. And this elevator contains the food for the residents. Each resident on each floor has the option to eat as much as they need or more than what they might need. This creates a situation where the residents at the top of the building have plenty of food to eat, while the ones in the bottom barely has any left for themselves. This movie is not just a survival story, it is a brutal commentary on class, greed, and what we are willing to do when survival is at stake. Just like how Squid Game features commentary on our real world, the platform forces viewers to think about our society from a similar lens. Make no mistake, this movie might be short, but it still manages to keep you hooked in a similar way that Squid Game does, by showcasing a brutal fight for survival. The characters in the platform might not be playing games for survival or money, but they are constantly making strategies, coming up with plans, and constantly fighting for their survival. For all these reasons and the chilling setting of this movie, it makes for a great recommendation for Squid Game fans to watch on this list. Now, let's move on to recommendation number 1. Finally, the number 1 recommendation on this list is an anime which, for the past 15 years, has been my number 2 most favorite anime of all time, Kaiji. In terms of similarity, I would say Squid Game is about 99% similar to Kaiji. The main character in the anime is a gambler with huge amounts of debt, just like the main character from Squid Game. In order to pay off his debt, Kaiji gets invited to a cruise ship to play a game, just like the main character travels to the island to earn money and pay off his debt in Squid Game. Do you remember that game from season 1 of Squid Game where the characters had to climb a bridge across to survive? Kaiji has an arc in which him and the others had to walk off on a slim bridge in order to survive, while some rich folks were watching them and enjoying from behind the glass. The similarities between these two just don't end. This anime is a hidden gem not just for Squid Game fans, but for anyone who loves watching shows that feature psychological warfare, manipulation, strategy, and all those things. But even with all that, what sets Kaiji apart is its focus on human psyche. Every choice the characters make in the anime somehow feel personal. Every loss feels devastating, and every win will make you jump from your seat and cheer as if you are the one winning. The anime is not just about winning though, it is about survival against all odds. That is why it is called Kaiji, Ultimate Survivor. This anime makes use of the art style, the character expressions, and the music and sound effects in such a way that it cannot be explained. You just have to watch it and experience it for yourself to understand. And once you do, you will hear the sound effects and all the narrative voices in your head at all time. Since Kaiji is a very old anime, you might feel a little weird at first due to its visuals. But this visual design is by choice and it has its own charm. It reminds me of classic anime which focused on quality storytelling over everything else. For all these reasons, Kaiji is the number 1 recommendation on this list. Now, if you've made it this far in the video, then I have 2 more surprise recommendations for you. I know I said I'll give you 3 recommendations, but here are 2 extras which may not be on par with Squid Game like the rest, but they are still a great watch. So the first of the extra recommendation is 3%. It is a Brazilian series about a dystopian society where people must pass brutal tests in order to join the privileged 3% of the society. I will not go into much more details for this one, but it is full of strategy and moral dilemmas that Squid Game fans love. The second recommendation I'm gonna give you is Lie Again. There is a K-drama version of it and also a Japanese drama with live action movie and even a manga. Liar Game has everything. In this show, characters also face challenges, and much like Squid Game, it features situations that forces people to question trust and constantly think about betrayal from their fellow contestants. If you have already watched everything else on this list, then definitely give these 2 series a try as well. There you have it, 3 must-watch recommendations and 2 bonus picks to keep you busy while you wait for Squid Game final season. Have you watched any of these recommendations before? Do you have your own recommendations for me and others to watch? Then let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, then hit the like button, subscribe, and I will see you next time.